Good evening, folks, or good morning, depending where you find yourself around the world. It is now Saturday, the 6th of December, 2025. We have information coming in from the U.S. government about the number of refugees who arrived during fiscal 2025, including those who came from South Africa, numbers that have been speculated about. Now, previously I said, based on my information, my research, the number is between 300 to 400, and I said probably, possibly up to 400. We have the actual numbers now. It was 342 South Africans actually come to the country during fiscal year 2025 under the program that President Trump set up. Total number is 342. There were 68 that came in May. That included the 59ers plus a second batch that came during the month who weren't quite ready from that first cohort. 4 came in June, 21 in July, 58 in August, and 191 came in September before the government shutdown, which forced the stoppage of people coming over. Now, for 43 days, the U.S. government was shut down, but flights stopped around the 26th of September and people no longer came, or 27th. They didn't start coming again until mid-November. And since mid-November, they've been coming over. But here are the figures for the year. Now, the reason I show you this is to prove that the media, including CNN, which didn't like what I had to say, they simply refused to believe the truth. CNN, Donny O'Sullivan, in his misinformation, white genocide, obvious, skewed narrative, when I told him that refugees had come over from other countries, now that the freeze was over, he simply dismissed me. And of course, I wasn't included in that documentary. Doesn't surprise me, and that's fine with me. But I told him in July that other people had come over, and he simply refused to believe the truth. It didn't fit the narrative for CNN. But here you have the evidence right here. Eritrea, in March, after the freeze, had 6 people come over, and in April, 1. Ethiopia had 1 come over in March, and 2 in April. Now, that's not a lot of people, not tens of thousands, but that's 10 refugees who were admitted. 10 refugees that came over before the South Africans even came across here. And of course, for months, we've breathlessly heard the fake legacy media in the United States, including CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and countless others, especially South African media, lie about this program, saying that Trump is evil. He shut the whole world out. Well, he cut the numbers down demonstrably, and now he's certainly making an effort to keep people out. But that wasn't the truth at the time. And I revealed the truth, and people didn't want to hear it. Here you have the statistics. There were no South African refugees who came here in February. The program was announced on February 7th. It was put onto the website of the U.S. Embassy on February 10th when people could contact them. And nobody came in February, March, April. It wasn't until the 12th of May that the first 59 arrived in the United States, and then 68 total. In the meantime, at least 10 people from 2 African countries, plus many other countries, came over here during that interregnum, but no South Africans. At the time, he said only white Afrikaners were coming to America. Total lie. And they want to tell me I'm the liar. Additionally, you see here that in July, when I talked to CNN in late July, I said other people have come over, and that includes people from Afghanistan. Well, here you can see just for Africa, there were 18 from the Democratic Republic of Congo and 14 from Rwanda. 32 people came over, only 21 South Africans. They weren't even a majority of 53 people who came over as refugees from Africa alone. And others came over. See, this doesn't fit the narrative of the fake stream legacy media who want to lie for racist division in this country and in South Africa. These aren't large numbers. I'm not claiming they are. What I am telling you is that I told you these people were coming over and they refused to believe it because they're liars and they're propagandists. Now, here's a closer look at the South African arrival. 342 came over in the fiscal year, which runs 1 October of 2024 to 30 September 2025. Those South Africans came over in May, June, July, August, and September for a total of 342, with over half of them, or about half of them, coming in September, long before the program was stopped and halted for the government shutdown. And once again, as I said, just in Africa alone, you can see here that 32 came in July, more than the South Africans, and 10 came in March and April, proving once again that the media are just liars. Now let's take a look at the arrivals since the new year has begun, the new fiscal year from 1 October. Nobody came in October because nobody could move. The government was shut down. But mid-November, it picked up again. And let's take a look at the arrivals and where they've gone from the refugee program. And at this point in this fiscal year, it's only been South Africa and a couple from Afghanistan. But let's take a look at the numbers so far, which we'll pick up demonstrably in the next report at the end of December. On this program, we always give you the receipts. And here's the current information as of the end of November 2025 regarding refugee admissions and arrivals. You'll see in the course of this, I'm going to show you the number of South Africans who've arrived and what state. 22 states have received South Africans. And I'm going to update you. That's this fiscal year, which began 1 October. Of course, flights didn't begin again until November. after the 43-day shutdown and an interregnum of about 7 business days before they got started. So this is what it looks like for just this fiscal year after less than a month of arrivals. By state, 22 states have received South African refugees since they resumed in November. Arizona with 2, California with 12, Colorado with 10, 3 from Afghanistan, 7 from South Africa, Florida with 14, all from South Africa, Indiana with 2, Iowa with 10, Kansas with 4, Kentucky with 10, Maine received 3, Maryland 5, Massachusetts 4, Minnesota 4, Nevada 2, New Mexico 3, New York 2, Oklahoma 1, and Pennsylvania 9. South Carolina 4. Texas is the biggest recipient of refugees, all from South Africa, 21. Utah with 1, Virginia with 1, and Wisconsin with 1. With the exception of 3 to Colorado from Afghanistan, the rest have all come from South Africa thus far in this short fiscal year of a partial month of November 2025. And there you have it, folks. The receipts, the published data from the U.S. government. 342 people came over from South Africa in the fiscal year that ended. Not a couple, not a dozen. It was slow because the program had to get started up, but 342. And in the 2 weeks after it started, 125 people came over to the States, all but 3 came from South Africa, 3 from Afghanistan, 122 from South Africa. That number has picked up significantly in December. We'll see how it goes the rest of the year. Of course, as I predicted, it's likely there won't be any refugees coming over from around the 15th of December till the 5th of January because of Christmas holidays and virtually nobody on staff back at the State Department to process this. Wintertime, Christmas holidays, typically as much as 70% or more, 3/4 of the workforce go on holiday. So they don't process nearly as much. It's kind of a shutdown, kind of like the Europeans in August when they all go on vacation because it's too hot for them. They all go to the beach. Well, there you have it, folks. The receipts, the analysis. I predicted somewhere by the end of September it was between 300 and 400, closer to 400, but actually number 342. So I was off slightly, but pretty much accurate based on the raw information that I had. And there you have it. So for the Ferrayas, for the liars, for the people who spread misinformation in the legacy media and on social media, there's the data. There's the data. What do you say now? Cheers, folks.